Yes, we live, baby. What's good, everybody? What is good, everybody, man? Welcome to Show is Live. That's what I'm gonna start titling it when I go live, man. Show is live, and we can go from there, man. But I got a guest today, man. It's one of my favorite YouTubers, man. A person that I go to look and get information from, and everything like that, man. He's a real good dude. My man, the one and only Grim Pachi, man. Shout yourself out, man.
Yo, I think you just did that for me, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's
Yo,
what's up. Go
yo,
ahead, though,
what's up?
Grim.
It's Grimpachi, man. I was gone for a minute. I came back. I'm gonna probably keep doing that a lot, but I had to come back. Everybody went crazy when E3 happened, so I had to, make a couple videos. But man, let's get ready to do this discussion, man.
That's right. That's what's up, man. Hey, you got to change your name from Grim to hashtag Mr. Facts. But anyway, man, he did a video yesterday, and I took the title from him, and it says, "Don't blame Microsoft for your mistakes." If y'all ain't checked that video out, go to his page, subscribe to the guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a really good dude. I've been knowing him for quite a little while now. So if y'all have not subscribed to Grim, go subscribe to Grim. I'm telling you, hit the like, hit the subscribe button quickly. y'all won't regret it. All right. So he did that. Grim, can you kind of explain what you was saying and kind of set the scene for us, if you don't mind, sir?
Well, basically, the video came from the angle of, I'm hearing so many people saying Microsoft lied to them and did them wrong, and they go back to the Scorpio reveal trailer. Like I said in my video, anything besides that, I don't know. I don't follow the devs on Twitter. I don't watch every interview, but everybody's like, oh, they lied here with the Scorpio reveal. They said we're going to get 4K 60, native 4K 60, and I was like, I don't remember them saying that. Let me go rewatch it, and I'm like, they didn't say that stuff. So I think that's where, that's where the video came about, is because everybody is feeling like they got lied to. And then when you listen to them, they said no boundaries. And I'm like, well, what does no boundaries mean?
Right.
Like, if you learn about advertisement or just how people market stuff and use words, it's best to use, stuff that can't be too defined. Like, as an example, Red Bull got sued a while ago because they said it gave you wings. Someone as petty that is, someone sued and won because it didn't really give them wings. So now they spell
in
wings
other
with
words, they
two
was
eyes.
looking to go outside and fly, huh?
I guess so. And they Red Bull did not deliver. So they got mad and sued. And Red Bull, the slogan is still gives you wings, but it's with two eyes. Now the trickery is, what is wings with two eyes? What does that mean? Well, they made it up. It can mean anything. So you can't sue them over a meaningless word, meaningless terms. And basically, not just Microsoft, but all of them do that. They all want to use broad terms, especially that was still Project Scorpio.
Right.
In that reveal, they were talking about the bandwidth and all that stuff. They've increased that stuff. Some of that stuff is higher than what they said it was going to be.
Yeah.
None of that stuff is concrete. But
and how I interpret when they said 4K uncompromised. I think that was a term that you was using. What did that means? From me as an Xbox dude, how I interpret that was that this console is capable of doing 4K native. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes 4K 30, sometimes 4K 60. Now, different rendering techniques, Phil kind of went into that, where, some games on third party will be dynamic scaling, dynamic resolution. But from my understanding and how I interpret it was that this console is capable of doing 4K. Not necessarily meaning it's going to always, put out 4K games, but it is capable of doing 4K native. That's how I interpret it. Now, you can go from there and, tell me if I'm wrong, whatever the case may be.
Well, no, we already know it could do 4K native. I mean, the Pro could do 4K native as well. But the thing is, again, a lot of these people are coming from the PC perspective that's complaining, which is silly in itself, saying like, it's not all the games. Keep in mind the console is very restrictive. If the developer feels it's better, like Digital Foundry talked about Assassin's Creed. They said, well, the console engine they use, the highest resolution goes to is 900p, and they haven't changed that engine. So I'm like, if that's the case, that's probably why the new Assassin's Creed isn't native 4K. The engine they're using only goes to 900p.
Got you.
You know, nobody cares about that that extra information. You know, so when
So
it comes down to it, go ahead.
So it's a little tit for tat. It's like, you know, they not really paying attention to how game developers are putting these games and their engines that they're using. They want to blame the hardware instead.
Yeah, and maybe there's a developer that don't want to make their game in 4K. Right. Well, then it's not going to be 4K. It's just, I mean, let's say, you know, made them sign a contract where they ain't got no choice. But, you know, Phil and, you know, Yoshida and the people at Sony and Microsoft are not going to, you know, we live in the age, even Nintendo is becoming less restrictive. Mm-hmm. At this point, it's about, you know, all right, you put your game on here, we're going to get a cut. You're going to get your money. And as long as everybody's getting money, we don't care what the hell this shit looks like. You know?
That is true. That is true. And, you know, I wanted to, I had sent you a link that I want you to share your screen with and allow people, because, you know, my thing with what was going on out here is that people do not listen to everything Phil says. You know, they kind of take what they want out of what he say. He never promised 4K 60 on every game. He never promised that every game will possibly be 4K. You know what I'm saying? He said, how developers choose to use that power, they just giving them the tools to be able to put out, you know, whatever, how they want to use the 6 teraflops is how he put it. You know what I'm saying? Of power. He never came out and specifically sat here and say that every game will be 4K 60. So I don't know where people are grabbing that from. And I just don't think people listen to it. And, you know, a lot of people, the thing that's going on out here now, Grim, is that a lot of people are getting mad because PlayStation use dynamic scaling or dynamic resolution and checkerboard, which is another rendering technique that a lot of that these games are being used. So I just wanted to let everybody listen to Phil, what he sit here say about these things. And you can't blame a platform for supporting these type of rendering techniques. And they sitting here being honest with you that they're going to support these rendering techniques. And it don't take away the capability that these games can somehow put out 4K native. You know what I'm saying? Just because a third-party developer decide to use that type of technique because they got to scale across the board. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, like when it comes down to it, like I said, you know, people say, well, he said it on Twitter and stuff. Like, if he said it somewhere, that's cool, but I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
You know, the thing that people don't want to pay attention to is that even if you built a PC, right, you're not doing 4K 60 on every game right now on PC. Hell, what's the game? It just came. It's called Nex Machina. It's a top-down shooter with a bunch of particle effects. Particle effects, people don't know that takes a lot to process. Even Digital Foundry is like, the only way you get 4K 60 on this game, you're gonna have to turn the settings down, which means you're not playing at the highest graphical fidelity or whatever. So there's always going to be a compromise, even on PC. There's always going to be a limit to everything. So when, like, I haven't seen this video yet. I know I can share my screen. I don't know if the audio will come through. I'm not sure if Google does that though.
I mean, if you have like, because we have did it in the past. Now, if you have yours open to where you got a mic and it's coming through your screen, like, you know how you playing the like, you know how you play like the video that's playing now, like for my channel, you can pick that up off your mic. So I don't have a mic. I'm just using my headphones, so I can't pick it up.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
You know what? I heard the video before you turned it off when I was talking in the background.
Oh, so maybe it's still get picked up. Maybe it's
let's try it that way.
All right. Are you ready to play it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Share your screen.
Like the design, or you want the 4K streaming, great. HDR, great. But I'm not trying to upgrade them. If you
turn it up a little bit, you can hear it though.
What is it? So you can hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. You just got to turn it up a little bit.
Let's see. As far as that goes.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
All right.
And the original Xbox, 4.5 half times, and the 6 teraflops actually will obviously impact the games and the way they play. Upcoming games. That's not necessarily like, you know, you're not going to like suddenly get better performance out of any disc you put in the system. You know, it's a great question. If you look at a game like Halo 5, Halo 5 implements something called dynamic scaling. So as scenes get more complex,
hey, never mind, because they say it's real low.
That says real low.
Yeah, it says real low. Yeah. So so basically, let me tell y'all, the video is it's an interview. I had did it on my channel already. So a lot of people that saw my video when I had broke this down, they saw me break this down already. It's by Gamer Dog. Y'all can go look at it. Basically what he's sitting here saying, what Phil is basically saying, is that they will support games that use dynamic scaling. And he broke down what dynamic scaling is. And what dynamic scaling is basically, it's kind of like consoles don't have the option that PC gamers have. Okay, and I'm going to explain it this way: consoles don't have the options that PC gamers got. If something happened on a PC, and Graham, you a PC gamer, correct me if I'm wrong. You have the option. You have the option to change your resolution and your settings to get the best performance out of it. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so consoles, we don't have that because of how it's optimized. So they use these rendering techniques called dynamic scaling, which basically what it does, the resolution will go from the highest resolution. It might drop down a lower level resolution, but it keeps the same the frame rates steady. You following me, Graham?
Yeah.
So that's basically what dynamic resolution is doing. So we don't have that luxury to pick it ourselves. So this rendering technique was I look at it as a better alternative. You know what I'm saying? So if you know, for the frame rates will not suffer. So if a game is outputting at 4K and you got it at 4K, and like you were sitting here saying, those particle effects, those things that comes in, instead of having it suffer, it drops down to a lower resolution to keep the frame rates and everything kind of looking beautifully. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean that's a technique they've been doing for a minute now with this generation. See, the thing is that the PC is more about brute forcing your way to something. Gotcha. To be fair, right? Mm-hmm. To get what the Scorpio is going to do, you're going to spend more than what the Scorpio costs. And even then, you're spending that extra money not because the low end GPUs and CPUs can't do it. It's because no one's going to sit there on PC and optimize that game for specific GPUs and CPUs so it could get the best performance out of these perfect cards. That's why sometimes you'll see that people still use older graphics cards, right? Because sometimes the developer that worked on the game is using an old graphics card, and they work their ass off to get that game to still run perfectly fine on old hardware. But most developers that put stuff on PC, you gotta think, they don't do that. They just say, all right, you put this shit on PC, optimize it enough, and if you can't run it, you need better hardware. They don't see, for the console, they target the specs of the console every single time.
Gotcha.
So on PC, like I was thinking that maybe the Scorpio will offer you graphical settings like the console. I mean, like the PC. But the problem with that would have been was you would have stepped into the PC realm a little bit too much, where the developer could have optimized the game perfectly for these settings for the console, but they gave you the option to change it to all the different settings on PC. Then they would have to sit there and optimize all those settings. They don't do that on PC. It's more like we give you these multiple settings for multiple different people's rigs, and you pick what's best for your situation, but it's not really optimized.
Gotcha.
So what Phil is talking about, and see the dynamic thing with Halo 5, I know what he's talking about. I've seen, you can see it in the game where the resolution increases, decreases. Sometimes the frame rate on enemies increase, decrease, depending on what's going on. That's also a trick so the game can run like that on console, looking like that. If we're talking the PC space, they don't have to do that because now it's up to you, the consumer, to just spend that money to make sure you can run it how you want to run it. Forget us developing and making the game run right for your hardware, or you just going to have to spend extra money. So it depends on if you want, you know, that's why I said in the video, like a lot of people saying there's no point in getting a Scorpio.
Right.
Now, personally, for me, I just want, like, as long as my Xbox One work, I'm cool. That's all I care about. As long as all that extra 4K, you know, for those who want it, right?
That's right.
So to me, I'm cool. Microsoft still appealed to me this E3. Okay.
Right, and you got to look at it like this. They also said, you know, it's based off the experience that you want as a gamer. You know, so they have the S for those that want, you know, to do certain things. You know, not so much 4K, but have their games run a little bit better. But you know, you can also, you know, do other little things with the S. But the X was just basically if you want your games to look better and run better. That's basically why they had made that, which they call it a premium console, and a lot of people get mad behind that. So, you know, it is what it is. But go ahead. You know, some of the points that you was making from your video.
Well, you know, I broke down the video of the words they were using and saying, like when the dude said 4K gaming, he didn't say native.
Right.
He just said 4K gaming, and he said true 4K resolutions. But he didn't say gaming after that. I don't know if he talking about movies.
Mm-hmm.
He talking about the menu, because I know the Pro, the main menu is in 4K native. Like, I don't know what the hell. You know, you don't know what these people are talking about. So to get mad and to say, well, they told you something when they didn't say it. No, what happened was you heard something and you assumed it meant something else. I always looked at the Xbox One. I always thought the Scorpio was going to be like the Pro, but better.
Right.
Because
that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. The Pro, but better. And you're probably going to get even developers that didn't make Pro patches for the Pro are making Scorpio patches, like CD Projekt Red with Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to get more of a 4K experience from the Scorpio in a long time. And for all we know, I was talking to people about this. The reason you haven't been seeing a lot of 4K patches, because 4K patches on Pro are there, but they kind of, I haven't heard nobody talk about it. They kind of slow it down a little bit. For all we know, the Pro might benefit from the Scorpio, only because now both 4K systems are on the market.
Right.
Now it's beneficial to make a patch. Now it's beneficial to put some extra features, because now we ain't got to wait for Microsoft, know what they're doing. And don't be surprised if you see parity.
Right.
You know,
and you know what? That's another thing that's been going around, that, you know, they are sitting here saying out here that, you know, Sony is forcing parity now. You know, at one point when they were sitting here saying they didn't want no parity when they had their stronger console than the X. You know, so that's another thing that's going on around here. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, the parity thing, like I said, the game look good. The game look good. Play good. I like a lot of the games I play on my Xbox One that people swear the PS4 version is better. And I look at both, I'm like, it could be better. I would really need to have two TVs set up next to each other and play them at the same time for me to notice. Like, I'm playing Watch Dogs 2. On Xbox One, I was told that was 720p. It don't look 720p to me. Look 1080p. I don't know what the hell is running at. I don't care. It looks fine. It plays fine. So the parity thing, I get why people have a problem with it, because they want to get the best performance out of their system. But again, we're on console. They're restrictive.
Right.
If you don't want restrictions, well, you're still gonna get restricted. If you want less restrictions, let me say that you need to go buy a computer.
Yeah.
Go buy a PC.
And you got to look at it like this. Like, even with the techniques that they're using, with the dynamic scaling and you know, the checkerboard rendering that they're using out here now, the only way you're going to be able to really tell the difference between those games that's using those things is when Digital Foundry come out and do a comparison, and they show you who's hitting what resolution the highest, the most. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell, like, say for instance, if it hit 4K 30 90% of the time on the X, and say it hits 4K 30 70% of the time on the Pro. Is it really, you know what I'm saying, a argument? You know what I'm saying? I mean, one is better, yes, but they both still kind of doing it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't get, like, why people are so keyed in on just because it's doing it. Don't mean that it does it better. It just means that this is just a rendering technique that they are using to get this type of resolution, or, you know, to get up to 4K. And it might not hit it often. You know, we don't know until we see Digital Foundry come out with their breakdown on what's actually happening in the game. You know, so that's why I don't see why people jump into the loops about it so often.
I mean, a lot of these people can't tell when the resolution drop increase, because it's 9 times out of 10 you're playing the game, you're not even focused on that. The game looks fine. Like a lot of Bethesda's games has a dynamic resolution, right?
Right.
Where it changes all to depend on how much stuff is going on. When I'm fighting like 50 enemies at once, the last thing on my mind is the resolution dropping? Like, I don't get it. You know, I don't notice. It's just like there are games on PC that I can run at 60 from time to time, depending if a bunch of stuff has happened. It may drop and come back up to 60 again. I'm not finna sit here and boo-hoo because it drops a couple times, and it's reasonable. It's like I'm blowing up 4 to 5 different cars and killing like 1,000 people. Okay, I'm expecting it to drop. It's a computer, you know. So when you play on the Xbox or you play on the PlayStation and this stuff happens, see, a lot of stuff stands from the fanboy mindset,
right?
Because a lot of these people do not give a damn if they PlayStation 4 is dropping some frames, the Pro drops some frames. You know, I ain't heard nobody complain about, you know, how the Pro patches are getting less and less frequent. They ain't complaining. When the Scorpio comes out or the Xbox One X got announced, completely announced, now, you know, let's try to figure out who really doing this and doing that. And it's like, you know, you need to worry about your own machine. If you want to, I don't have no loyalty to none of these brands, but if you got loyalty to a brand, I would think you'd be more worried about your brand.
And just to bounce off of what you were saying, even with Halo used that dynamic resolution. I didn't notice anything when I was sitting here playing. You know, like you said, I didn't even care too much to really pay attention if it's going up or down. Am I looking for jaggies? Any of this little stuff, screen tearing, all this little stuff. I ain't paid none of that trash no attention. I was just too focused on what was happening. I was immersed in the combat of what was going on. So I agree with you on that, Graham. I really do. You know, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people, like, you can't take them too seriously, because a lot of these dudes that's been complaining and trying to discredit Microsoft is coming from, I hate Microsoft, but I'm on a PC with Windows mindset. You know, like the biggest thing with the PC, dude, the craziest thing is they announced at this E3 a lot of games at Microsoft's event. I think they had the most game announcements, like 40 some odd games.
Right.
I don't think any of them are only on Xbox One, but Microsoft told me, I don't know what they told y'all, about 2 years ago, that everything's about to be play anywhere. They ain't doing that no more. That's so right. Like when the PC dudes are like, you ain't getting no exclusives on your Xbox One X, I'm like, okay, they said they weren't doing that no more. And that's supposed to be a big argument. I'm like, I don't, you know, Minecraft's on everything. They own that.
Right.
I think at this point, Microsoft sees it as, all right, you know, Windows PC may be considered an open platform, but Windows is our platform. We're gonna put our games on here and we can make more money.
Yeah.
Why not?
And you got to remember, their operating system do run on a lot of people gaming rigs.
Yeah.
So they look at that as a platform of theirs as well, you know, just to be fair. You know, so, you know, they have Windows and they have Xbox, and that's how they look at it. So, you know, they're not going to miss out on money just because, you know, just to support one platform over the other when they can make money across the board. So it makes sense. You know, I look at it and I'm like, okay, I kind of been got this. I remember when I was telling everybody this on BGST when we was doing the show, me and Crap got into an argument about it. And I was trying to tell him, I said, listen, Microsoft, if you listen to their language and how they are speaking, they are sitting here telling you out their mouths that they're going to support Xbox and they're going to support PC. So, and I had told him, I said, in order for gaming to really go forward, we all kind of got to be on like kind of same playing field. So it got to be, the game has to be built kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? In order for everybody to get a good experience out of it. So we had that argument, and I was telling them, like, don't be surprised if this happens. And it's happening now. And this was before I left, man. You know, I've been gone for a while, about a good year. Brother just came back, but you know, I'm laughing because a lot of the stuff I had been said already that was going to happen is happening now. You know, it was stuff even when, you know, Doe was on there. John Doe, he used to say certain things, and that stuff coming to pass. You know, and it was just certain things that you see, you can kind of see how they talk. Corporate talk is different from our lingo. You know what I'm saying? So you once you start seeing how they wording things and saying things, you can kind of see how they are going with their direction. And Play Anywhere was trying to let everybody know, look, don't, it's still exclusive. If that's how y'all look at it, for those that's on consoles, you can say, hey, it ain't on no other platform, but PC is part of our platforms as well. And that's basically what they was expressing.
Yeah.
It's
always it's a one-way thing with these people. Like everything Microsoft announced ain't exclusive. And I don't know if you've seen, I've talked about the exclusive thing for a long time. Saying like, see, the thing is, going off of, the meaning of the word exclusive, a game or anything could be exclusive to more than one thing. Mm-hmm. The problem is that what people do is they'll say, oh, it's not exclusive. Like they'll say it's a console exclusive, right?
Right.
And that doesn't, they'll say the meaning means, well, it's on PC, but it's only on one console. That don't make sense though.
Right.
Anybody that ain't in gaming, when they hear console exclusive, but they know what a console is, they gonna think what? Is only on a console.
On the console, yeah.
And then when they like it's on a PC, that don't make sense. So when it comes to like, when we talk about the Sony guys, like the Nier that came out, that's on PC and at PS4.
Right.
They'll say that's console exclusive, right? And they'll brag and boast about it. Fine, they want to do that. I think it's silly. But let an Xbox dude say, well, all these Play Anywhere games, Crackdown, Ori, all that stuff, that's console exclusive. They say, but they ain't real exclusive. I'm like, but you just bragging about Nier. You can't if you gonna downplay they console exclusives, well then downplay your own. But they ain't gonna do that.
No, they ain't gonna do that because what the fallback will be, well, we got more games that's not on PC. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they look at it. That's why when they opened up what was that thing that they had when you had to pay to play their games, and they put it on PC. I kind of ragged them about it. But what was that? It's a system that they use where you pay like a subscription fee. PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now. Trash.
they put that on PC. So, a lot of us Xbox dudes, we poke fun at it. We went at them, you know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all exclusives going to PC. You know what I'm saying? We laughing, you know what I'm saying? But, they was like, well, you got to pay for the game anyway. So I understand the argument, like, you got to pay the subscription, blah, blah, blah. But if you go purchase the game, you got to pay for the game anyway, if it was on there, like, exclusively like that. But I understand the back channel, but as a poking fun, as a troll that I am, I had to get him with that, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, I look at it and I say, y'all got to stop with a lot of this reaching, because they'll make these same things, like whatever Sony do is gold, but when Microsoft do something it's kind of similar, it's not gold. So I look at that and I say, hey, it is what it is. You can't take the hate out of a person's heart, but you can only just combat it and come at it with some different logic, and that's what I do.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a long. Like first time they did it was with Sunset Overdrive. They said that was trash, and I'm like, that's made by Insomniac. They made Spyro the Dragon, Sony. They made Ratchet and Clank, Sony. And if you play Ratchet and Clank, you know that Sunset Overdrive is kind of a combination of every game they made before it.
Right.
And I'm like, how could you not like this when you like all this? Well, they give you an excuse. It's like, because it's on Xbox. Let's just cut the as they used to cut the malarkey, cut the bullshit. It's just because it's on Xbox, and that's why you don't like it. But I mean, if they want to play the game, like, how could you ignore? Whether you felt whoever won E3, that's your opinion. I'm not arguing people's opinion, but to ignore Microsoft announcing 40-some odd games. To ignore that Microsoft put games that you would think would be at a Sony event on their stage. You got Dragon Ball Z at their event.
Right.
You got a bunch of Japanese stuff at their event.
Right.
I don't see how that event didn't appeal to, one thing they give some Sony credit for is Sony had Japanese games, sports games, action games. They got all the games at their event.
Variety.
And you could say they got variety and it appeals to everybody. Microsoft gave you variety Not only they gave you variety, they gave you original Xbox backwards compatibility. That's when I got really excited. And
Right.
I'm like, they gave you everything. And they were like, still trash. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you at this point. they can't do shit then.
They can't do. Hey, you know what? When I looked at it, you know, a lot of people was coming at me. It was like Microsoft Event was trash. I was like, how? You know, when this is the first time, it's not just a shooter box. You know what I'm saying? It's not just you know, shooter in sports. That's basically what Microsoft was known for. You know, football and your first person shooter games. You know, it was considered that. Man, we seen everything from platformers, Japanese games, indies. I mean, not just any indies. These was like AA indies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice indies. You know, and then you had and then some of them I kind of look like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying?
But you know a game looked like that, but everybody said it was fun. I might try it out. You know the game where the dude was walking and he just started playing the guitar.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I looked at it too. I was like, man, what? Oh, and the only thing I could say, because I know how Next Gen is, man. That's my boy. Shout out to Next Gen. I said Twinkie, the Tinky Winky. You know what I'm saying? He call all them games Tinky Winky games. So, you know, he more of a fighter, you know, sports.
Yeah,
action type guy, you know what I'm saying? Where, you know, you have some people that's more, you know, variety. So you got to find and I was trying to tell everybody, these E3s, even Sony or Microsoft, they can't please everybody. It's just impossible, you know, because we're not all the same. So they have to show variety, you know, because different games appeal to different types of gamers. So if they just show just shooters only or sports only, you know, it's kind of similar. You know, you can be like, man, I'm just tired of this. I remember it was so many shooters came out. I don't even want to play a first-person shooter right now. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing things like, you know, my action adventure games like Witcher and, you know, open world games, you know, like Watch Dogs and different little things like that. Something different than just first-person shooters. I kind of got tired of Battlefield, got tired of Call of Duty. I got tired of just all those games. That's where you have to just shoot. Now I'm into platformers. I played a platformer and beat it, Unravel. I don't know if a lot of people know what game that is. It's a ball of yarn. You got to figure out these little puzzles, but it was refreshing to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed playing the game. I enjoyed it so much, man. I beat the whole thing. You know, and it was just a refreshing to play, man. And a lot of people won't even give that type of game a chance, but it was cool, man. I enjoyed it, you know, and you know, that's just me though as a gamer. So every E3 can't appeal to everybody. You just got to find what you like and enjoy that. And you know, from both conference, man, and get your happy on.
I think this E3 though, they would. I think Microsoft appealed to everybody, but they don't like Microsoft. They had the front on them. Like, shout out to my boy Bari, but.
Shout out to Jay Boy.
Jay Bar, look, what'd you say? He was hood clicking, man. Like real. Like he said, because you remember when Phil announced Dragon Ball, he didn't announce. He came out and said he went to Japan and he played this wacky, quirky game, and I want to show it to you. And then it was Dragon Ball Z, and he was disrespecting the franchise. Now he could have been joking,
right?
But if he wasn't joking, I'm like, if you know anything about Dragon Ball Z, this is the show where someone dies, they come back every 5 seconds. Right. You know, Goku's trained by human talking cats.
Mm-hmm.
A perverted old man rides a turtle. That sounds about as quirky as it can be. You know, so I'm like, how you disrespect Dragon Ball Z? This is what this is. You know, if you follow the show right now, Goku's fighting an Egyptian cat or some shit. Like it's a silly show.
Right.
So.
Hey, yeah. See, I think sometimes, especially when you, I had the opportunity to step away from the console war stuff that's been happening, you know, and I was telling everybody in BGST, I said I'm able to look at this E3 conference with fresh eyes, man, not as talking points. You know, I think a lot of times what's killing everybody is that they so busy arguing and trying to one up that it's about talking points now. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to just look at it, man, with just fresh eyes, without being in no arguments with nobody, without, you know, trying to find out what Microsoft is doing better than Sony or what Sony is doing better than Microsoft. And I was able to just look at it. And you know what? And I actually really enjoyed Microsoft E3, you know, and everybody know that. I thought it was really the best one they showed so far because of the variety. You know, don't get me wrong, they ain't have a lot of console exclusives, and I think a lot of people was looking for that hitter, that home run hitter. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, they showed a variety of games. 42, I think it was like 42 or 43 games. Just they was just rambling them off like quickly. I was like, wow, and they just kept going through, man. And I enjoyed it, man. I really did.
Yeah. Like Crackdown, I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna probably do a comparison between that and Agents of Mayhem because they're very similar, and they coming out right at the same time. I find that fun. You ever notice like games that be real similar come out at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, are they planning this out? But like people were downplaying Crackdown, saying they downgraded, they ain't had no destruction, and I'm like, that's a single player. It never had it never had the cloud destruction. It got normal, you know, a car blow up destruction, but you never had that. Like everything, they were trying to their best, their hardest.
You know what the funny thing about that? You know, when you're dealing with the story, right? You can't have destructible environments because then nothing will be left.
Yeah, could you imagine the story mode? Like, all right, this the final boss. All right, instead of fighting him like you normally, I'm just gonna blow at the bottom of the building, gonna fall down, and gonna kill this mother. The whole game over in 5 seconds.
What city gonna be left? Is it gonna be rebuilding? You gonna see a bunch of builders, you know, building what you destroyed? It don't make sense.
And they did the perfect thing because I love when developers still allow you to play the game offline because you know every now and again your internet get knocked out. I don't want to be playing Crackdown single player and then my internet get knocked out or something, and then I can't play the game. They said the co-op in this ain't got that type of destruction. It's the multiplayer, the PvP, and I'm like, okay, cool.
And you know, I did a video on that too, where you know I was sitting here like I don't know where they getting because you know I got tagged into some things. You know, shout out to Jay Bari and some of the other ones. You know, they tagged me in some things where they was talking about the co-op. You know, he had this little screenshots of saying Microsoft lied, and
I talked about that.
Yeah, I was like, how did he lie when I even showed where the developer themselves came out and when they announced the game, they said, now this is our sandbox. You know what I'm saying? Where we putting our multiplayer, we dropping a bunch of people in the sandbox multiplayer. And this is where the destructible environments is going to be at. You know what I'm saying? They said they had other game modes, such as a story mode and a co-op mode that you'd be able to play the story also, you know what I'm saying, online. You know, which you have to if you're going to play co-op with somebody. You're going to be online, of course. But you're still playing the story, just like Halo. I don't know where they got. You know what I'm saying? That the co-op.
You know where I think he got it from? Because I made a video before the one I just made called, you know, Pray for Jay Bari or something like that. And when I told him about it, because I was watching his stream at the E3, he said they lied about that. And I told him in the stream, I think you got it, you know, twisted. You know, from 2015, what you just said, they said that back in 2015 when they first showed the game. That the co-op, you know, there's interviews with the main developer that's been talking about the game for the longest. It kept explaining like, this is the multiplayer. All we saw up to this point was the multiplayer. We even seen the single player yet until E3 just happened. So I think where he got confused is they said at the time, because they were still getting the servers ready and everything, they said we can only get 4 people on the multiplayer map at this time.
Right.
Maybe that's when he and other people, because he ain't the only one, was like, this is co-op. That wasn't co-op. That was the PvP. It was just they only had 4 people in the PvP at the time. But now it's I think it's 5v5 instead of 2v2,
right?
Which sounds a lot better because ain't nobody finna play no big ass map 2v2. That's gonna be dumb. But you know, misunderstandings and you know, but see again, you know, the E3 thing. I don't know what was going on. But, you know, people wanted to find every reason to discredit Microsoft in their event. They saying stuff like State of Decay 2 looked like trash. And I'm like, you never played the first State of Decay. That's all I can say about that.
That State of Decay 2 looks nice.
If you ever played the first one, it's one of the deepest games you could play.
Yes. I mean, but this the second, man, I was excited about it. You know, I don't know. That's why I had raised the question. I said, are we gamers or are we complainers? We gonna complain all the time, or is he gonna get excited about something? You know, because you know, it's just getting too much now to where everybody is at each other. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to look back and say, okay, this is what I like, you know, as a gamer. And I don't care what you say. This is what I like. And then that's just what it is. You know, we all different. We all like different things. But at the same time, you as an individual gamer, you got to figure out what you like and enjoy that trash. You know, but all right, man. Well, you got anything else, man?
No, I mean that's pretty much it with the Xbox E3 thing and the Scorpio and the Xbox One X talk. Basically, I mean, I haven't seen nobody give me no evidence saying that they said native 4K 60 all your games, and or they explain what compromise, no boundaries. You know, like I said in my video, anything made by a man, a person, it got boundaries. I'm like, first, the biggest boundary is they can't sell. You know, look, they ain't selling no console over 500.
No.
So, you know, so if you want all that fancy stuff, $1,000 some dollars, you ain't gonna spend for no console for 4K. You know, just ain't nobody finna spend all that.
And then you gotta look at it like this. You know, the comparisons now is like PCs and what you need to make a PC to be equal to what Microsoft is offering. You know, you're not gonna find. I don't even think you can make a PC for $500 with what they got in it.
No, I mean I've seen some people make videos saying you could spend I don't, the way they was worded was as if someone said that even for $1,000 you can't build something as good as a Scorpio,
right.
Which you probably can't.
Right.
If you add everything the Scorpio has in it. You know, now people get a little funky and start saying, well, you got to add in TV. No, we ain't talking about that shit. We talking about the Scorpio. We ain't talking about the
specs. We ain't talking about the TV. Like saying, well, we ain't talking about none of that trash.
You got to buy a house, an apartment. Got to add electricity bill. We ain't going that far. We're just talking about the damn box. And the box itself, I don't think even for $1,000, you'll probably be spending a little over $1,000 to get the Blu-ray player inside. You know, the graphics card, all that stuff. And even then, the Scorpio might outperform it just for the simple fact it's a console, it's stagnant. Yeah. They can always target that you know, those specs, whereas your PC, you better just hope that developers good at optimizing. They you know, they actually, you know, a lot of times these developers make games that don't even really give you the benefit. You be playing like a 2D game in 4K. That's nice and all, but they ain't why you spent $1,000, you know, $1,500 on a computer.
That's right. That's right. And that's the thing, man. I think a lot of people don't realize, you know, like you were saying earlier in the show, it's better optimized on consoles, you know. So the comparison, you know, for $500 and what you have to purchase for a PC, a lot of y'all just stop that trash. Go ahead and get you an Xbox, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Microsoft really did do it. And another thing I want to make a point on. A lot of people are using the Scorpio or looking at the Scorpio as if it's a next generation. This is a freaking console refresh, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is you expecting from a console refresh? They are sitting here telling you this is a mid-gen refresh. They upgrading, and they doing little things, and they might have found different parts that was a lot cheaper, and they just added a lot more in it. It's not a new console. It's not the Xbox 2 or the Xbox XX. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. It's just a mid-gen refresh, man. And that's exactly what it is. And that's how I'm looking at it. So I'm not expecting too much from a mid-gen refresh.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you got to look at it. And I think a lot of people are looking at it. You know, I remember when Mark Cerny for Sony, he came out. They asked him about what's the Scorpio at the time. And this is where a lot of them getting that from, if you ask me. I could be wrong. But Mark Cerny came out and he was like, what we did was a lateral move. What Microsoft did was they changed the generation. And I don't agree with him.
Yeah, I think he did say something like us.
He did say that.
He said something like, if we make a new generation, like he said, if we make PS5, and that was interesting. He said, if we make, he said, if we make PS5. Because it got the PS4 selling so well, why would they make a PS5 at this point?
Right.
He said, if we make PS5, he said it's going to be a new generation. He said it won't. He said unless we have backwards compatibility, it won't play PS4 games. It ain't like you just put the PS4 game in and it run and it look better. He said no. He said it won't be like that. So Microsoft said they in the generations. For all we know, and I said this. I said the Scorpio's power Eventually, you'll get to the point where the original Xbox One just can't run some shit. Let's just be honest. You're gonna get to that point, and when we get to that point, the Scorpio will probably be what the Xbox One is, probably the more affordable machine, and then Microsoft will drop an even more powerful Scorpio. Right. And what will probably happen is you won't see the true power of the Scorpio until, because you never know. Sony may drop a PS5 that's equivalent to the Scorpio as is now, or maybe maybe slightly more powerful, and Microsoft flip that switch and say, all right, now really start developing for this unit, not just upscaling and little things here. Then I'll really make this the primary. And if it can work on the original Xbox, put it on there.
John Doe just made a great point. Shout out to John Doe. He said a lot of people is missing the mark when it comes to the Xbox X. He said we finally have a system that can do 1080p right. He said because up to this point, 1080p has not been mastered. I agree with him. What you think?
I mean, that's true, but the thing is that we got to hold the developers, I think the Pro does something like this, where I think all the games on the Pro are at least 1080p native.
Right.
But
he's talking about meaning like ultra settings that you probably can put in there.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's so he's saying done right. That's what he's meaning.
That's because that's what I'm saying. Like the Pro, it'll make the game 1080p or even higher. Right, upscale it, but as in textures, none of that's been touched or changed. Yeah. Some games, I think Tomb Raider does that, but even that, I think the Tomb Raider where the 1080p is maxed out is 30, it ain't 60.
Right, gotcha.
So it just depends on the game.
Yeah, on the game. Yeah, that's what's up. I'm trying to look at some of these questions. Hey, if y'all got any questions y'all want to ask me or Grim, or just both of us, go ahead and shoot through, man, and leave it down in the description. In the comments, man, we'll pick it out. Grim, if you can look over there, you see any ones that you interest you that you want to read off, man, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look, see, all the power in the world don't make a difference when the console has no exclusives to excite you. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna say this to you, king of all trolls.
That sounds funny, just answering that. I'm about to answer the question from King of all trolls. Let's see where this goes.
King of all trolls. That's a good name, man. Hey, man, shout out to you for making that, man, for thinking of that trash. But for it to have exclusive, it's up to Microsoft to put out to show you the power of the box. It's not up to third-party developers. Now, the games that they do have coming out this year, Microsoft did announce that they're only going to show you from E3 to E3. They're not going to show you wish me sandwiches that this can come possibly in 3 to 4 years. So what they have coming out from E3 to E3, I think it's about 4 or 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. It all doing 4K, and most of them are doing 4K 60. So that you can take that for what it's worth. You want to answer that one, Graham?
I mean, when it comes to the exclusive thing, I just put it like this: I got a PC, and I don't play on this motherfucker. So all them games, to me, gonna be not to me. Let me not say that because I'll be sounding like a nut. Those games are not exclusive. You're right, but I'm buying those on my Xbox One. So think about all the other people that's like, I don't give a fuck about no PC. I'm buying an Xbox One. It's gonna be the same thing, and it's gonna be a lot of people like that. They don't want a PC. PC is great if you want to play indies and games that ain't demanding. Buy a PC all day and night. But other than that, I ain't finna. These demanding games, I will stick with the console because you're gonna have a lot of issues. But let's see. I did see a question. Joey asked, "Do you think these consoles should have done 1080/60 right first before jumping to 4K?" I get what you're saying, but they're trying to. Sony and Microsoft behind the scenes have stakes in these televisions. They trying to push these televisions, and to be fair, a lot of people probably, a decent amount of games on PS4 and Xbox One are already 1080p, and if not 1080p, they upscale to it, and to the most of the gamers, it looks fine. You telling them it's not 1080, you telling them it's not 1080p would be a shocker to them.
Right.
So to them, they already think they got 1080p. the average consumer. When you talking about people like us, most people that got PS4 and Xbox One think this shit look fine. Hell, most of these people don't even know the difference between 60 and 30. They won't even care about that. But they would care if you're a gamer or you someone like games and you like, all right, I don't really see a reason to buy a 4K TV yet. Oh, we got 4K consoles. That's why most of these people don't care if it's checkerboard or not either. The 4K console. So I get what he's saying, and I would want that, but I understand from a business standpoint why they wouldn't have just did 1080 60.
Right. Yeah. Graphic Guy had a good question. He was saying, what are your feelings on Digital Foundry only scrutinizing the Xbox One so soon after E3 and not analyzing any Sony claims of resolution greatness?
I mean, look,
they did.
Go ahead.
They did they took a Anthem, and they did you know how you have the demo, and they tried to take a demo and see was it actually running in true 4K.
Yeah.
And they don't do none of Sony games like that. You know, anything Sony announced, I have not seen Digital Foundry take a demo from E3, run through and see is this game really in true. And I don't see how you can really grab a demo and say, hey, this is running this. I don't know. Maybe they got some magical machines that I don't know about. Maybe you know something a little bit I don't know.
I don't know.
But to me, that is like the craziest thing ever. If you don't have the actual game in your hands to sit here and tell everybody that this is then in the same thing, this is what I don't like, is because they'll sit here and say it's doing this, but then they're cover themselves and say, hey, but it's also pre-alpha build. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see how they can get resolution out of that. You know, to me, for them to do something like that is just crazy.
That's almost like saying LeBron just scored 30, but remember the game didn't start yet.
You see what I'm
saying?
With nobody playing. So how do you really know until you got the actual game?
So the demo they got ain't got a demo that they playing. They got the video of the demo.
The video of the demo.
Oh,
the video of the game. You know how they show it E3?
Hold on.
The trailer.
Is it a native video or is it the video streamed from E3?
I don't know.
See,
they never said anything. Only thing they did is come out and say, hey, you know, this is using checkerboard rendering, but you got to also remember this is pre-alpha build. And one thing I do know, Microsoft did sit here and say that a lot of developers didn't get the Xbox One X dev kits in time, you know, for E3. So a lot of things I think they kind of did dress up, you know, but at the same time, Microsoft also a week before E3 unlocked another gig of GDR5 to be used for games and everything. So their SDKs was not fully out there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people just got to wait until it's get closer to the games, because, you know, Microsoft kind of kept this secret, you know, of what the power was, and they was trying to keep a lot of things from Sony, because, you know, once, you know, if Sony's doing a game, a third-party deal, or whatever the case may be, and they have to, you know, have that dev kit, they can see what Sony is doing. I mean, what Microsoft is doing. And I think they try to keep it under wraps, whatever, you know, third-party dev that they are sponsoring. But, you know, it's tit for tat, man. It's hard out here in these streets. But you got any other questions you want to answer that one? You know, how you feel about it? I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. Why are people with cable PCs complaining about the X1? Personal opinion on that, because they're afraid. Now the big question is why they're afraid. I don't know. Something mentally wrong with them. I really think it's just the bragging. They want to be able to say, well, my PC is more powerful than the consoles. This is why I have it. Other than they got it because they want it. I haven't heard someone say that in a long time. Right. Like, why don't you want this game, man? I don't want it. I don't want it. It's always a reason. Well, the developer was a racist, and you know, and blah blah blah. It's always some extra stuff. It's just why you just don't want something. Why you don't just want something. You know, someone asked me. I bought Watch Dogs 2 and Mafia 3 recently for my Xbox. Why'd you buy it there and not PlayStation? Because I felt like playing on my Xbox. That's it. It was the same amount of money.
Uh-oh, you button.
So, you know, I think they're afraid that the Xbox dudes are going to come out and say, look, for $500, you can't build a PC like the Scorpio. And, you know, we're getting better performance for $500 than you would. That's going to be a problem for them.
That is a problem because, you know, like I said, you can't make a PC for $500 of what the Xbox is doing right now. And, you know, what Microsoft is doing with both platforms, and I think this is my interpretation of why a lot of PC gamers are so-called nitpicking. They don't want their gaming to be monopolized. You know what I'm saying? To where Microsoft is trying to bridge the gap between PC gamers and console gamers, whatever reason. I know they tried it before and it didn't go so well. PC gamers ran Microsoft out of there real quick. But, you know, I think the way they are going, if you look at everything Microsoft is doing with their ecosystem, with everything, it's really to kind of bridge that gap, to have this one dominant platform to play on, to where everybody can get the benefits. And not only that, it expand the PC friends list. You know what I'm saying? To where now if you didn't have a gaming rig, you can't play with your friends, but now you got console gamers that can play with you now. You see what I'm saying? So you got some of your friends might have consoles only. You can play with them now. And it's building that gap. Not only that, you know, if they go with mouse and keyboard support, which I think they did, it's really bridging the gap. So it's like putting everybody on the same playing field.
I can't wait to because you know there's gonna be some PC dudes playing some Rocket League, playing some Minecraft. They're gonna be playing against some people on Xbox, and they ain't gonna know it first. They're gonna just think everybody on PC. Then like the dudes like, hey man, what rig you on? Like, you know, like, what specs you got? He's like, I'm on the Xbox. He's like he gonna be torn. He's like, can I be his friend anymore? You know, he got the Xbox. You know? Then he's like, oh, I got the Xbox One X. Oh, you got the better Xbox. I can't talk to you no more.
It's gonna be interesting. And you know what? I think a lot of people are ready for that. You know, to have that gap bridged to where, you know, if you really that good, man, you that good. So let's get it in. Especially if we all on like a level playing field, to where even though you know PC have little things, man, where it give them a edge. But if everybody can be on the same playing field when they playing like first person shooter games or something like that, to where it's a big multiplayer and everybody can get in there, I think that'd be great, man. That's great for game.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see if there's any more questions in there.
Let me check one more time.
Let's see what's up.
Let's see.
Hey, I did see this though. They said they called the show and Grim Stopper. That was funny. That's what's up.
I don't know. I don't see no more questions.
I don't see no more questions. Hey, this is people arguing now.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I thank everybody. If, like I said, if y'all not subscribed to Grim, man, go subscribe to him, man. Good brother. You know, go check his channel out, man. Look at him, man. Talk with a lot of good common sense. And, you know, like I said, I enjoy his content. So this is one of the YouTubers that I go and I look at, and, you know, I value his opinion very highly. And I appreciate, man, you coming on here, man. You know, we did this kind of spare of the moment.
Yeah.
I messaged him on this video and he said, yeah, we could do it tomorrow around this time, man. And I'm grateful just to have him on here, man. I appreciate you so much, bro.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
But if you got anything you want to say to the people, you know.
I mean, just look, you know, just enjoy your games. Try not to, if you got a preference, just have it. But, you know, try not to be nutty. Don't go off the deep end, you know. Don't go crazy. So that's all I got to say when it comes to it.
That's what's up, man. And hey, whatever you game, just enjoy that trash. That's what your boy Show got. And that's all I got, man. That's all we got today, man. And this is your boy Showstopper, and we are out. Peace.